Good morning, my dear students. As we all know that this is unprecedented time and you cannot come to the school, so we have to utilize our time at home. So in that series, we have prepared some video lectures for you. Today we are going to start with the very first chapter of the book Gateway. Chapter name is The People Could Fly, written by Rick Donald Hirsch, an American writer. Before I start with this chapter, I would like to tell you about the background of this chapter. So there's a very interesting story when in the time in history when Europeans they settled in America. When they settled down in America, they needed the workers to work in the fields and farm. And African they have been considered the able and the strong-bodied people. So the European they imported the African people as a workforce. But since the European were the strong and the powerful people at the time, they treated them as slaves. And slavery was at its highest point at time in America. Abraham Lincoln, the President of America, he passed an order to abolish the slavery in America. But this led to a civil war, and at last the war won by the Abraham Lincoln only, and the slavery was abolished. This is the very background of the chapter. Let's come back to the chapter. The title of the chapter is very fascinating. The people could fly. Yes, they could fly. You might not be thinking that it's an imaginary title. It's not an imaginary title. The people of Africa in good old days, they could fly. The chapter is about, can be classified as folktale, a legend about amazing people of Africa who could flew in the sky like the black birds, like the crow, like the eagle. They knew the magic to flew in the sky, how to fly in the sky. So after some time, when these people were captured or enslaved by the European, these people were forced to leave their land and proceed towards to America. These people are forced to leave their wings behind. They cannot take their wings along with them in the ship. Those people were treated like slaves in America. They were forced to work hard from sun up to sundown. They was laboring hard in the field. They were working day and night, and there was a person behind them every time, a supervisor, an overseer who was looking for their work. They cannot take rest. They were so restless. They were in very poor condition, day and night working in the fields. And the overseer, he always used to crack his whip across the air to make them feel fearful that he is behind them. Once they will stop working, he will crack his whip on them. So this time they all were working, they all were very much tired, they were very much worn out while working a day and night. One day what happened, Sarah, a lady, she was feeling so worn out, she was feeling so fatigued that she could not stand for so long. She cannot bear the burning sun. So she fell down, she fainted. That moment, that overseer, that foreman, he growled on her like anything and told her not to take rest and to work continue. She managed to stand anyhow for some time, but after some time, again she was about to fall. She was staggering, but again she's managed. But after some time, she was having her child on her back. He started crying, and she stopped working to console the child. As she stopped working to console the child, the overseer, the foreman, he growled on her. How could you? You cannot take rest. You have to continue work. That moment, the old man, of course, one slave among them, who was also a slave from Africa, he cannot bear all this, and it was not bearable for him to see the people working day and night, and the lady, she was about to she want to console her child and was not allowed. So he came to the lady Sarah, and he whispered something into her ear and told her to whisper the same in everybody's ear. And she did the same. After some time, the lady, When she was about to fall down, and she fell down, the man, he floated his whip into the air and about to whip her. He roared. The time the old man, he started saying those magical words, and the lady Sarah, she started flying in the sky. And the overseer, he was shocked, he was surprised, and he roared, who is that person who is speaking these magical words? The time nobody was able to see the old man because they were all working in the field. All the slaves were working in the field. They were so much engrossed in the work, so he was not able to get who is speaking these magical words. After some time, all the people who was working in the field, they started feeling worn out, and they're feeling very weak, and one by one or two people, they started falling down in the sky in the field. That moment, old man, he joined the hand of everyone, all the slaves, and he made a ring, and they start chanting the magical words, and they all flew to the sky, a sky of freedom, their own land. They went back to their own land, and they got the freedom. This is how the African people was able to get their freedom back. African slaves was able to get their freedom back. So I think we can correlate it easily. Like we Indians, we have got independence in 1947, and we every year we celebrate 15 August. It's a day of independence. In the same way, African people, like we people have been enslaved by British people for long time, and after a constant efforts, we got freedom in 1947, and we can realize, we can recall the day. It's like we every day we celebrate. We have read about in history. So it's just the same thing with African people. We can correlate with the scenario we had experienced, and the African people, when they got the freedom, they could fly in the sky. And the title is very apt and appropriate in the context of the chapter and the story of the chapter. I hope you must have understood this chapter. If you have any doubt, you just keep noting it so that we will resolve the doubts later. Now, I would like to discuss some question and answers with you. The very first question is that, what was the internal conflict between the overseer and the slaves? Write in your notebook. Second question, briefly tell me, what was the event, what was the thing that shocked the supervisor? What shocked the supervisor? Question number 3. What happened when overseer tried to use his whip? Question number 4. It's all about your creativity. You have to write an object speaking. Object speaking of eagle. Eagle is a bird. You have to write physical appearance. You have to write about its characteristic that you're going to speak in the class. So this is your homework. Thank you and have a nice day.